channel, or if you're new here, my name is Jess. Today is Top 5 Wednesday, and today's Top 5 Wednesday is 5 books without romance. Now, if you know me, that's a little bit hard to do because most of the books that I own, upon doing this, I realized have some sort of romance in them. So a couple of the books that I mentioned have not the main plot has romance in them, but it has like a tiny bit of romance with side characters, but I wanted to include those anyway because I don't think that it technically falls into that books about romance kind of line. Like I said, this was really hard, but I did want to participate, so some of these books have a little bit of wooing in them, but like I said, it's like a not overarching thing. It has nothing to do with the main characters, but I enjoyed them anyway, and yeah, this was very, very hard to do, but I am glad that I was able to come up with 5 of them, and I hope you guys enjoy this video, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. The first book I have here is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I actually really love this book. I would say this is one of the best books that I read last year, and if you haven't read this, you should. It's really cool, but this book has no romance in it. It is sort of like an apocalyptic book, and I know the author kind of has trouble figuring out whether or not she fits into the sci-fi genre or just fiction genre, but either way, this book was really good, and I did actually enjoy it at the time because it didn't have romance in it. There is a story about a man who is married multiple times, and they do kind of go over his relationships, but it's not in a romance kind of way, it's just in a story about his life kind of way. So yeah, this is definitely the first book that I would include when it comes to books that I own that do not have any kind of romance in them. Now, I could have probably included every single Neil Gaiman book because a lot of his books don't have romance in them, but I did go ahead and include Coraline. This book is more just about a girl and like her adventures, and she is younger, so there isn't romance in this book. I really liked this book. I really also loved the movie. It's probably one of my favorite book to movie adaptations. But yeah, like I said, she's just on this little adventure exploring the new neighborhood that she lives in, dealing with some spooky things along the way, but there's absolutely zero romance in this book, and I really still loved it anyway. Alright, and book number 3 that I have on my list here is Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. This book was really cool. I read this last year. It's an adult book, but it is very, very interesting. It's about a girl who witnesses the murder of pretty much her entire family, and then as an adult, she is kind of searching for who may have committed those murders because someone that she knows is wrongfully accused, and that's really what this novel follows. There's zero love in this book. It is more just about the storyline of her trying to get to the bottom of what happened to her family, and if you have not read this, this is very, very cool. I know that this author is obviously known for other works, but this one I think is definitely my favorite that I've read from her. It is very creepy, very like murder, mystery, that kind of stuff, but it is fast-paced and very interesting, and yeah, it just has zero romance in the novel, and I really, really enjoyed that. I feel like a lot of the novels that I read obviously have romance in them, but I do enjoy a good book that doesn't. So yeah, number 3 would be Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. So I couldn't not include this because I had to include a Stephen King book because a lot of his books do have mild hints of romance in them, but most of them do not, and I wanted to go ahead and include Rage. Now, this is written as Richard Bachman, not as Stephen King, but this book has zero romance in it. It is more of a psychological thriller. It is about a gentleman who takes over a class and essentially just torments everybody in the class. It is very, very good, but this is a very intense book to read if you are triggered by things like that. So if you do decide to read this, or really any book by Stephen King, just be forewarned, there is a little bit of triggering in this. It is about a gentleman, obviously, who does some really cruel things to other people. So yeah, I wanted to go ahead and include this because, once again, there is absolutely zero romance in this. This is just about the main character essentially torturing everybody in the class that he has come into. Now, if anyone is familiar with Michael Crichton, he did the ER series. He was also a doctor outside of being an author, so he does have some true-to-life stories, like completely non-fiction stories, and that's what this book is. This book is about 5 different patients that are brought to the ER and how the medical staff handled it, how the nurses handle it, just like their overall experience. This is a very, very popular book if you have not read this, but like I said, it is completely non-fiction. It is 100% true. But yeah, it has zero romance in it. It is just about the patients and their experience within the ER when they are sent there. Now, I think this may be the shortest video that I've ever done, but like I said, this was very hard to do. I had trouble finding books that I own without romance, and I didn't realize how many I had that did have romance in them. So I am probably going to try to buy more like standalone or series that don't have any romance in them, just because I think it's very intriguing, and I don't want to have romance to enjoy a book. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you aren't subscribed already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!